How
like to
many
see that.
people are you thinking about?
All of them. I mean, we're talking about probably 1,000,007 people, 1,000,007, maybe 1,000,008.
But you cannot say to all the neighboring countries that they just need to make room for millions of people that they
Why
don't
not?
want in their.
Why not?
Then you are the world's
Because-
policeman. Then you are interventionist. Then you are going back on every promise that you made on the campaign. If you want to know how crazy the idea is, though, you have to look no further than Susie Wiles's face as he said it.
Oh, that's gotta hurt!
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but I do recall a certain VP candidate, he wears guyliner, I think, to make it easier, portraying his would-be boss as the peacetime president who wouldn't have US troops deployed for needless wars.
I know John Kelly's worldview, and I know the people who have attacked Donald Trump the most vociferously on foreign policy. They'll say, well, he's a dictator, when what they really mean is they won't listen. Donald Trump wouldn't listen to the leadership of the military when they wanted him to start ridiculous conflicts. That is a consistent theme. And I think that there's a big, big thing going on in American politics. It's a very interesting theme in American foreign policy where a lot of former members of the Pentagon bureaucracy, a lot of old neoconservatives, they have a fundamental difference with Donald Trump on the question of peace and war. I believe Donald Trump is the candidate of peace. I think the record supports that. But the reason these guys go after him so vociferously, I don't think that it's about his personality, Jake. I think that it's about they don't like that Donald Trump said no when a lot of them wanted to start a ridiculous war.
Well, how's that working out? Because by my count, in just 2 weeks, there's the possibility of occupying Greenland, Canada, the Panama Canal, and now Gaza. Have I missed any? I mean, what happened to the end of American interventionism? Jessica, do you mind explaining this?
If you want to know how crazy the idea is, though, you have to look no further than Susie Wiles's face as he said it. There's a great shot of her, his chief of staff, the Ice Maiden, I think they call her, looking very expressive at that moment where she was like, oh my God, what is he saying? And Mike Waltz kept it together, but he looked a little surprised too. And we know where the idea came from. Last year, Jared Kushner said, I think you could get some really great waterfront property in Gaza. It could be really beautiful. And this was widely covered. And so maybe he has been brewing this. Maybe there are some great contracts to come.
Well, as Trump gave yet another just insanely batshit press conference alongside Netanyahu, where he said, without an ounce of hesitation, that the US would just take over the Gaza Strip. This, as many had predicted in the lead up to the election, outlining that Trump would be no friend of the Palestinian cause.
Peter?
Would Palestinians have the right to return to Gaza if they left while the rebuilding was happening?
It would be my hope that we could do something really nice, really good, where they wouldn't want to return. Why would they want to return? The place has been hell. It's been one of the meanest, toughest places on earth. And right now, I've seen every picture from every angle, better than if I were there. And nobody can live there. You can't live there. So if we can build them through massive amounts of money supplied by other people, very rich nations, and they're willing to supply it. If we can build something for them in one of the countries, and it could be Jordan, and it could be Egypt, it could be other countries, and you could build 4 or 5 or 6 areas. It doesn't have to be one area, but you take certain areas and you build really good quality housing, like a beautiful town, like someplace where they can live and not die. Because Gaza is a guarantee that they're going to end up dying. The same thing's going to happen again. It's happened over and over again, and it's going to happen again as sure as you're standing there, Peter. So I hope that we could do something where they wouldn't want to go back. Who would want to go back? They've experienced nothing but death and destruction. Katie, go ahead.
On what you were saying there.
Say it. Go ahead, please.
Just to follow up on what you were saying about the Gazans leaving Gaza, going to other countries. One, where exactly are you suggesting that they should go? And 2, are you saying they should return after it's rebuilt? And if not, who do you envision living there?
I envision people living there, the world's people. I think you'll make that into an international, unbelievable place. I think the potential in the Gaza Strip is unbelievable. And I think the entire world, representatives from all over the world will be there, and they'll live there. Palestinians also. Palestinians will live there. Many people will live there. But they've tried the other, and they've tried it for decades and decades and decades. It's not going to work. It didn't work. It will never work. And you have to learn from history. History has, you just can't let it keep repeating itself. We have an opportunity to do something that could be phenomenal. And I don't want to be cute. I don't want to be a wise guy, but the Riviera of the Middle East, this could be something that could be so bad. This could be so magnificent. But more importantly than that is the people that have been absolutely destroyed that live there now can live in peace in a much better situation because they're living in hell. And those people will now be able to live in peace. We'll make sure that it's done world class. It'll be wonderful for the people. Palestinians mostly we're talking about. And I have a feeling that despite them saying no, I have a feeling that the king in Jordan and that the general president, but that the general in Egypt will open their hearts and will give us the kind of land that we need to get this done, and people can live in harmony and in peace.
I mean, was anyone really expecting that? The man used the term Palestinian as a derogatory slur when attacking his adversaries.
Chuck Schumer has become a Palestinian. Yes, can you believe it?
But as the subject was discussed on Fox News to 5, while withstanding an insatiable amount of yelling from her co-hosts, Jessica Tarlov was on hand to point out the hypocrisy of those who advocated for Trump, citing the Democratic support for the war in Ukraine as a means to push forward Trump as the man to end American interventionism, when his first 2 weeks have proven that he hasn't looked inward since he stepped foot in office. I mean, at this point, he's just spinning a globe to see where his finger lands, proclaiming like a petulant child, "I want that one."
Here I come.
But you cannot say to all the neighboring countries that they just need to make room for millions of people that they
Why
don't
not?
want. And they're,
Why not?
then you are the world's
Because-
policeman. Then you
no.
are interventionist.
No.
Then you are going back on
You
every
wanna bring
promise
them
that you
to
made
the
on the
United
campaign.
States. They don't
I didn't say
appreciate
I
our
wanted
climate
to.
or our food. Oh, so what should we do? Let them live in rubble and hate the Westerners and hate everyone else and
Where
the Jews?
are you shipping that? You can't make Jordan open up. You can't make
This makes the
Egypt
Arab
open
world
up.
have to step up.
Yeah.
And it's smart.
It's not about forcing Jordan or anyone else. It's
This-
about making people realize that for economic success in that region, we need to have peace and a rebuilding of Gaza.
Saying we could help.
We could take a few, but you're talking about 2 million people.
We'll spread them out.
So-
Maybe some could go
okay.
to Greenland.
Mary.
Follow up on that, though. He also said that everyone loves this plan. He said that in the Oval Office this morning. In fact, the Deputy Prime Minister of Jordan called it a declaration of war on the Arab people. So how does he square the fact that even some Republicans on the Hill are objecting to this or questioning this? How does he square the fact saying everyone loves this plan?
Well, King Abdullah of Jordan will be here next week, so I can provide you more context on the conversations he will have directly with the President of the United States after that meeting. And I would just point out that there's been a lot of leaders and officials all around the world who have doubted, I suppose, the deal-making ability of President Trump. You heard the Panama leader saying that he would not agree to some of the concessions that he has now made because of Secretary Rubio's visit. You had the Colombian president saying he wouldn't accept flights of Colombian illegal nationals who have entered into our country illegally, and those flights are underway. So actions speak louder than words.
And while that's all going on, what's happening within the ranks of the American government in the country that he's supposed to be overseeing? Well, he ain't bringing down grocery prices, if that's what you're wondering. He's actually handing the keys over to Elon Musk and the Fortnite Five, who have gained access to databases on the American people, with particular scrutiny over Medicare and Medicaid, because who could have saw that coming? I mean, is anyone else seeing this? Again, aside from the usual suspects of Jasmine Crockett and co.
Feels as if y'all have just decided that y'all are going to castrate your constitutional duty and hand it over to someone who is unelected. It doesn't matter how many cheerleaders he had on the field campaigning for him. That doesn't mean that he gets to go in and sit atop any of our agencies. And the fact that we had a vote today and we asked to bring him in because we have a constitutional duty. We all took our oath, and maybe some of y'all just don't take it seriously, but I take it seriously when I take an oath to do a job, and my job is to look out and make sure that we don't have any kings or queens in this country. But it seems like y'all have decided that it's going to be Mr. King and his queen, and y'all can pick which one is which.
The American people did not sign up for this. They voted in Donald Trump. They did not vote in Elon Musk, a key role for Musk and Trump's administration. You see this 39% support, 53%, the clear majority opposed. They don't want this. The American people don't want this. No, no, no. Just 36% of independents support the idea of Elon Musk having a key role in the Trump administration. So the bottom line, when it comes to all of this and Elon Musk being everywhere, it seems, in the federal government, trying to trim down the federal deficit, the American folks, simply put, do not want Elon Musk having a key role in the Trump administration.
The American people did not elect Elon Musk. Hell, nobody elected Elon Musk, and yet here he is overseeing a literal heist of information. While the man who accepted his $250 million bribe to come inside the tent looks outward to try and see what sovereign land he wants to occupy next. The amount of promises this guy has already broke in just 2 weeks is no surprise when you consider the fact he's on his third marriage. This is not normal though, and we must continue to call it out while highlighting voices like Jessica Tarlove's as she braves the lion's den to try and penetrate the white noise.
Love this video? Continue the conversation by following us on Instagram @MeidasTouch and help us blow past 500,000 followers.